Welcome to Stories with Soul. I am your host, Jamie Ice, musician turned entrepreneur and co-founder of 6th Ave Homes and 6th Ave Storytelling. Over the past 10 years, I have launched multiple successful businesses and have become obsessed with all things entrepreneurship and marketing. I've been on a personal quest to unpack what it takes to make and grow a great brand. One thing that I've discovered is that stories are powerful and that storytelling has the power to set a brand apart. Join me as I dive into the stories of the heavy-hitting leaders, entrepreneurs, artists, and business owners in our community to hear their biggest wins, greatest losses, and their best business secrets. There's a story behind every great brand. Welcome to Stories with Soul. Stories with Soul is brought to you by my company, 6th Ave Storytelling. In 2020, we launched a marketing company on a mission to encourage entrepreneurship and make starting and growing a small business easier than ever before. Since then, we have helped hundreds of small businesses and entrepreneurs grow their brands by giving them the tools, resources, strategy, and support they need to craft and share their stories. If you are thinking about launching and growing your own brand, schedule a meetup with me today. I would love to talk to you. Head over to 6thAveStorytelling.com and let me show you how the storytelling approach can transform your marketing strategy. This episode is sponsored in part by PREKINDLE, the platform designed to empower event creators to develop the best experiences possible for their communities. Did you know that PREKINDLE was actually founded in DFW and is still headquarters in Dallas? Well, now you do. We love local businesses, and PREKINDLE is one of the best. With a best-in-class platform of features, no long-term contracts, low service fees, responsive mobile-friendly event pages, and friendly and attentive support, PREKINDLE is my personal favorite ticketing and marketing platform for any event. Anytime I'm planning something with my band, Gruene Hall Ordinance, PREKINDLE is our go-to platform to use. With an impressive roster of event creators, venues, and entertainment destinations across the nation, PREKINDLE is hands down the best. In DFW alone, they've partnered with incredible spaces like the Granada Theater, Panther Island Pavilion, the Kessler, Will Rogers Coliseum, the Fort Worth Modern, Tulips, Grizzly Theater, and more. If you have been to an event or venue in DFW, I promise you have likely been using PREKINDLE and you didn't even know it. Beyond ticketing, PREKINDLE also helps automatically promote your event. With over 500,000 subscribers in North Texas and partnerships with event discovery sites like Bands in Town, Spotify, Google, they're set up to also help you spread the word. So go to prekindle.com, that's PREKINDLE.com, and click Get Started to begin using the platform. They are on a mission to bring your event to life. Howdy guys, we are coming live from Jazz Fest in Aspen, Colorado. Visit Fort Worth and Sundance Square both brought some great Fort Worth artists to play and to show their art. And I am here with just probably one of the coolest bands out of Fort Worth right now, the Squeezebox Bandits.
What's going on? Happy to be here.
Just introduce yourselves real quick.
I'm Abel Casillas from Fort Worth, Texas.
I'm Austin Gardea.
Jeff West.
And so they are all the way from Fort Worth. They came here with Visit Fort Worth. They're doing sort of a showcase. There's literally like a Fort Worth showcase here.
Yes.
Which is cool. But you guys play, we were talking about how do you describe it because it's so different. But it's Honky Tonk with a Tex Mex twist.
That's right.
Because it's accordion-led Honky Tonk. Is anybody else doing that? Have you seen anybody else do that?
There's a few bands. There's a few bands like one of the bigger ones is that's been doing it a lot longer than us in their own way is Dave Perez and the Tejas brothers.
Okay, yeah.
So they've been around for a long time. But other than them, around here, no. DFW, especially Fort Worth, you know, we play just about everywhere you can think of in Fort Worth and Dallas and so forth. But yeah, we're very happy to represent Fort Worth, Texas here in Colorado.
And yeah, you guys just have a very unique sound because it's this blend. We were talking about it earlier. It's like there's some Zydeco even in there. There's some polka. You can't kind of like get away from the polka if you play accordion.
You can't.
And then Tejano, but you do these like classic honky tonk Tennessee vibe songs.
Yeah, it's funny because we've all been playing together for some time, and I don't know, like they come to me and they say, this might sound kind of cool, and it's like we vibe together. So like I bring the accordion aspect, and Austin brings the real cool bass licks, and you know he's got a lot of great ideas, and Jeff, he's got that chicken picking guitar, man. So it just
which is very Fort Worth. I mean, you guys are kind of like a mixture of a lot of neat things in Fort Worth. Like did you grew up on the north side? I think I read that.
Yes, I grew up in Diamond Hill, right in north side Fort Worth.
But this mixture of like the Tejano, Mexican culture on the north side.
Yeah, because what it was is what it's been like when I grew up. My mom and dad, they loved all kinds of music. My dad was from a little town called Knox City, Texas, and he's born and raised, and he always liked the old country and then the Tejano stuff, and that's how I grew up listening to music. It was always Tejano, then it was country, so it was a good mix. And then I got into playing in a Tejano band and
accordion.
Accordion, playing accordion, then just like.
And when did you start playing accordion?
I started playing accordion back in 1996.
So and how old were you then?
16.
16.
Yeah.
And I read somewhere like you were a fan of like Tejano bands at the time.
Yeah.
And you're like, I want to play accordion.
Yeah.
And accordions are not cheap. You can't you can go get a $100 guitar on Craigslist, but accordions are expensive.
Yeah. If you want to get one that it's worth your time, and back then it was an old Horner, and that's what I've been playing since. And nowadays, if you want to get a Horner, I would recommend if you get a Panther. If just someone's listening, they're wondering where can you get an accordion. A Panther's a really good one.
But I read
affordable one.
Yeah, affordable
starter,
one.
yeah.
Yeah,
but I read somewhere like you like, I want to buy an accordion. They're expensive. You started working.
Yeah, I was like that one guy that sat groceries. I worked on the registers and I mopped. That was the general hand over at it was Carnival grocery store. I remember that.
Yeah.
So buddies too. I put myself to work because I learned early, if you want something, you got to work for it. So that's what I did and got my first accordion, and then now I'm actually endorsed with the accordion company that I play. So I'm pretty fortunate. Yeah,
that's cool. Yeah. And does Horner make harmonicas too?
Yeah, they make harmonicas too.
They're like the most famous kind of accordion and harmonica.
Yeah, they really are.
So you got this thing. So it's like Jeff, like you guys, when you get a bass or a guitar, like you can kind of pick it up quickly, right? Like when did y'all start playing?
Around 12, 13, typical, pretty standard.
Yeah, same.
Starting time,
And it's like you can, like my daughters, I have like a 6-year-old and 4, and they can kind of pick it up and strum. But an accordion, I have picked it up, and I can play a lot of instruments, but I'm like, this thing is so confusing.
There's so many things going on at once with accordion. It seems like
because you like change the notes and it's heavy and weird and cumbersome.
Exactly.
So you saved up, you worked real hard, you got this thing, and then did someone teach you? Like, there's no YouTube back then.
No, there wasn't. And I'm glad I didn't learn by YouTube, because if you're trying to learn something, that's definitely, that's last resort. You always want to get somebody on hand the way you can understand what you're doing. I gave lessons here recently. I'm sorry, just kind of thinking about that. They're like, well, I've watched YouTube. It's like, you need to get someone at least to show you what's going on. That way you have an understanding. But I got a guy back in '96. I was at Diamond Hill, and the janitor there, the lead janitor's brother, he gave accordion lessons. His name was Frank Castro. He's just recently passed away. He was a great accordionist, maestro. He grew up in California, Southern California. He moved down here, and he'd been in town, I guess, about 15 years at the time. But yeah, I learned from him, and he showed me a lot of like cool things, and I just kind of, he showed me, pushed me in the right direction, and I just kind of picked it up on my own and just.
So he was showing you how to do it.
Yeah, I had lessons for about a year.
How many buttons are on there?
30, depends on which ones you had. Usually I think it's 31 to 33.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think like 72 as well.
Yeah.
They have all these buttons and you change it.
Yeah, definitely a button accordion is very difficult, but if you want to learn, just learn all your basics, then just like anything else, and at that point, you go from there.
Why accordion? Because we grew up with we want to be in the rock bands and stuff.
Right.
Like,
well, that was your
yeah. So you got a good point. Like, so whenever you were listening to the music, you really like the guitar. So with me, it would be like the Tejano music. That there was all Tejano then.
And accordion is a staple.
Yeah,
in Tejano music.
It's a staple. So I learned all the Tejano stuff, the licks and all that, what I could take from it. But then I started thinking, man, I want to kind of visit the idea of doing old country with the accordion. So that's kind of.
This episode is brought to you by my good friends at Visit Fort Worth. Visit Fort Worth is the official destination marketing organization of the 13th largest city, and I would say the greatest city, in the United States, dedicated to promoting Fort Worth as a premier business and leisure destination with thriving centers of creativity, culture, and commerce. Visit Fort Worth is the parent organization of the Fort Worth Herd, the Fort Worth Film Commission, Fort Worth Sports Commission, Visita Fort Worth, and Music Initiative Here Fort Worth. They are doing a lot of amazing things. For more information on Visit Fort Worth, head over to visitfortworth.com and follow them on social at Visit Fort Worth.
This episode is sponsored by the Fort Worth Business Press. As a Fort Worth entrepreneur and small business owner, the Business Press is my favorite source for news and updates about the entrepreneurial community in and around Fort Worth. I read their email newsletter literally every day. It's always full of insights and stories that really matter. Are you ready to be more connected? Sign up for their free newsletter at fortworthbusinesspress.com. But if you're like me and the newsletter just isn't enough, you can become an insider. With the code STORYTELLING10, all one word, you'll get a discount on the Insider membership. Insiders receive exclusive access to special content, 24 issues of the Business Press delivered to your door each year, and discounts on event registrations and more. Join me and the Fort Worth Business Press in staying up to date on the people, companies, and issues that matter most to Fort Worth.
Is there much crossover at all? Is there
You know, if you got there is, but you gotta listen. Yeah, you gotta listen to like if you want to learn, you got to mimic a different instrument because there's no really accordion players.
Are you mimicking like the acoustic?
Fiddle, like a fiddle?
Okay.
Like
fiddle and accordion translate very well.
Yeah,
together.
yeah. That and then like
and from from bass perspective, the bass is doing the dun dun on both Tejano and
country,
and country music.
Yeah,
the bass
driven.
is doing very similar things.
Yeah.
And oh, go ahead.
No, in a lot of genres too. It's like
So you grew up like as a kid, you're playing more Tejano stuff before you got into doing
the country. Yeah.
And you played in a bunch of different bands.
Yeah, man. I was thinking started out. I played in a few bands, and the first big band I'd gotten into, we won a couple of awards, Tejano Music Awards. It was a band called Grupo Sueño, and then I played with them for quite some time. Then I kind of dabbled in a few other bands.
Were you singing too, or were you just playing?
No, just backup singing.
Okay.
I would sing backup, but even then it was like, my Spanish is not the best, but it's good enough. But you know, and when you're singing Spanish, you're very critiqued. You know, like, oh man, this guy. You know, it is funny that way, but it's the truth. You know, but yeah, no. So I did a few bands, and I just said, I don't know, let's do this band. I just started messing around with these old country songs, and then I don't know, one thing led to another. Then I had a band going.
Were you writing at the time? Were you writing songs then, or did you?
Well,
have to...
I had a few that I wrote. They were like maybe almost finished, but they weren't finished because they didn't have that touch.
So you hadn't really written songs.
No.
You weren't a songwriter. You were just played in a bunch of bands.
Yeah, I played in a bunch of bands.
But if you're starting your own band, you're like, I guess I need to
start writing. Yeah, but then you know, it was so fresh the way that I would do stuff, translating the accordion into it. So most people didn't really think about that. It never really was brought to my attention until I realized I had to write songs, like you said. You know, you kind of had to start writing your own songs. Yeah, so.
And were you good at that? Like, was it hard at first?
It's
fun?
still hard.
Like, did you enjoy?
Fun. It's fun, but it is hard. Like, it's still hard. You know, like you got to think.
Are you a lyric? Like, you write poetry and lyric stuff?
I don't.
Are you more like think like a musician and melody?
Yeah, exactly. Melody first, and then I started writing the music.
That's how.
Like me and Austin, like our this album we just put out. We have an album that came out in May. There was a lot of songs that we worked together on, and we worked them out, you know, arrangement wise and stuff like that.
Co-wrote
it. Yeah, stuff like that. And then, you know, just work with Matt Hillier. I don't know if you're.
From 1100 Springs.
Yeah.
He produced this album.
Yeah, he produced this album. So
they're fantastic.
Yeah.
I saw. Man, my parents took me and my brother to South by Southwest when we were in high school. Like we were in bands and wanted to. We weren't playing, but I was like, can we go to this thing called South by Southwest? And so we went, and they were one of the bands we saw. And so because I'd heard of them, they were from Dallas. Aren't they from Dallas? I think.
Yeah. Yes.
But they were playing kind of this old country honky tonk, you know, / thing. It was just cool. I
very country.
Oh, Matt's great. The first time I saw Matt Hillier was at the Ridgely Theater.
Okay.
And they opened up and backed up Bo Diddley.
No,
yeah, it was really, really cool.
What? Yes. You saw Bo Diddley?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
What a cool concert.
But they got to open up for him and back him up. It was really,
They were
really
his
cool.
band.
Yeah.
Damn.
It was great.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Can you imagine, like, relatively, but a lot of those old blues guys would literally just show up and there would be like a house band that
Right,
never
exactly,
played.
yeah.
It's 3 chords mostly, usually, right?
For the
Three
most
chords?
part, yeah.
So when did y'all meet and start?
It was in...
When did Squeezebox Bandits begin?
Our drummer, he's not present. He's the only one that could make the trip. So I met him, Matt Calderon, back in 2001 whenever I was just starting out with the Grupo Sueño. So he was in that band, but he played the percussions.
So he was in the band with you?
Yeah, he played percussions and timbales, like a more of a Latin flavor. Okay. But he always played drums. So, I needed a drum right. Pretty, the stuff that we do is like, it's basic, There's not too much to it. And I was like, man,
it's more complicated.
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah, but I maybe he'll hear this and be like, man, this guy don't even know. Just jokingly saying it, but no, he's definitely gotten the job and doing the job. And then I've known Austin. I was playing music with Austin probably 10 years ago, I guess, maybe longer.
Like in different groups.
Yeah, and we had another bass player. Joe Beltran, he started the band with us, and he, I just looked to Austin because he definitely had these skills like no other. Like I was like, damn, this guy, and he was down to join the band, and so he's been playing with me the longest. He's been in the band for 5 plus years, and then Jeff, me and Austin met Jeff. We were doing a show over at it was a bar there in Stockton. It's called Null City. And we were heading out. He was heading in. I was like, hey, dude. He goes, hey, your buddy Aniva told me about y'all were going to play. I said, yeah, we just got through playing. And we offered him if he wanted to come sit in with the next day. We were playing over at.
Did you know who he was?
Well,
we had
friends in common.
Okay. Yeah.
And I was playing.
Was it like just a stranger?
Hey, you play guitar?
Yeah. No, we had friends in common. And they hit me up actually because I played a gig on Friday and they came out, the friends in common, and he hit me up about, I was like, hey man, the Squeezebox guys might need a guy to fill in some dates here and there. I was like, yeah, I mean, because I wasn't playing a whole lot at the time, and I was definitely looking to fill some gaps. So then we kind of ran into each other, and from there, that's kind of where it went.
Yeah, it went, and then it was funny because a lot of cool gigs were popping up, and after hearing him, I was like, man, we got to work this guy in.
Well, I had to learn some stuff.
And what was what was the response like in the very early days of Squeezebox? Were people into it? Like, started booking you more, or?
Well, I think
because it's so different. Like,
yeah. Well, I started with a few other guys. Mm-hmm. We did some practices and we did some gigs. Give them a shout out, Vincent Saldivar and T.Y. Barra and Joe Beltran. We worked out. We had some pretty cool gigs. Like I would do what I would do, man. I would fish a lot. To be honest, like I was on social media. I was on booking the gigs, and if I found somebody, I'd write them. You can't take no like to the heart,
I agree.
You can't take it to.
I love that attitude.
Yeah, you just can't know. He's like, okay. Well, you start creating some momentum, and then like at that point, they're calling you. Oh yeah, well he reached out to me. Oh, so they're like throwing me dates now. Mm-hmm. So. But
was it fun when people started getting excited?
Yeah, they were getting very excited. That's what I liked. So the response, or even early with the other guys, they liked it. Then whenever we formed, it's like a different sound. At that point, the guitar was different.
You started to started to sort of discover your sound.
Yeah, the sound at that point, the sound was like, damn, okay.
This is good.
Yeah.
And then Matt got in the mix on the recording as well, and then that.
So like this is kind of stepping up. I think we're hoping to make to another step,
And so you kind of double duty. You're right. You leading the band, but you're also doing like the business side of it as well. And it sounds like you like doing that. Like
I do. George is very good at what he does.
We were joking. We were joking earlier because your middle name is George.
No, first name is George.
First name is George, but you go by Abel.
Yeah.
And so, but on all his like email signatures and all the stuff on the website is like, for booking inquiries, contact George.
Yeah.
so I was emailing him like, this is George. It's the same person. And I was like, I think it's the same person.
You're not the first person to tell me that. Like after like emailing and then like meeting for the first time.
Because most artists, like typically, like most artists are also not businessy. Like some of the guys in my band, like
not even in that realm. They're not going to be like, and I did that a lot. I booked all our shows early on and managed the band and stuff. And so, but I joked, like in the early days, I created an alter persona.
This episode of Stories with Soul is brought to you by TCU Neely Institute for Entrepreneurship and Innovation. They're ranked as one of the top entrepreneurship programs in the country, and they live by the Neely promise to unleash human potential with leadership at the core and innovation in our spirit. The Institute has recently launched the Horned Frog Investment Network, which leverages the expertise and experience of entrepreneurs, business leaders, and investment professionals. They source, evaluate, and invest in the next generation of innovators. Crazy cool. And as an entrepreneur myself, I know the importance of finding great help. It can truly make or break your business. Luckily, as Fort Worth entrepreneurs, we have access to some of the top up-and-coming minds in the nation. If you're a business looking for talented students and interns, visit the Neely School of Business website to learn more about the Entrepreneurial Intern Scholars Program. They're actively looking for placements for their incredible students. They're doing amazing things, and it's exciting to see the next generation of entrepreneurs grow and flourish right here in our city. Are you a small business owner or an entrepreneur? Do you do marketing for a small business? If so, I have something that I want to give you, and it's totally for free. We've put together a free resource at 6fstorytelling.com/download, and it's the secrets, it's the tips, it's the tricks, it's the tools of the trade. It's literally everything we do at 6F Storytelling to help small businesses grow. Go download it today at 6fstorytelling.com/download. This episode of Stories with Soul is sponsored in part by Power Biofarms. As we all strive to become better versions of ourselves, sometimes the effort to be more active and less stressed can leave you feeling more exhausted than ever before. From unwanted prescription side effects to injuries that won't fully heal, many Texans are left feeling frustrated and without hope or restoration. Power Biofarms provides high-quality, Texas-made CBD and cannabis wellness products without chemicals, solvents, or pricey prescriptions. It's all made right here in DFW, from seed to shelf, with the utmost care, quality, and transparency. I had the privilege of getting to work with Colt Power, the founder of Power Biofarms, earlier this year when 6th Avenue Storytelling got to help them unpack their language and dive into their brand, and it was crazy cool. Their story is impactful, and they're doing some beautiful things. They offer a wide variety of craft products, and yes, it's all 100% legal for adults and incredibly safe. Support this local and growing business by starting your order at powerbiofarms.com. That's POWERBIOPHARMS.com.
So when you're booking and negotiating, it's easier to negotiate when it's someone else. Because you don't want the singer to be the bad guy.
Yeah.
But that's kind of your alt persona.
Well,
Ish.
allegedly.
It's George. But you do the booking, you do the management, you do all of that.
Yeah. It's just at some point I think I like to hire someone to do the managing, but I'd prefer to do it till I can't go any further, kind of thing. And nowadays it's starting to kind of feel like there's some room for opportunity for maybe hiring someone that has some more connections, because we've made a pretty cool name, I think, so far.
Yeah, you guys have a reputation around town, and just in Texas even, people come to the shows, it's fun, people love it, and you've kind of discovered this niche, which I think is really fun, a sound. Like Elvis is famous for going into, I think it was Sun Studio or something, they're like, what do you sound like? And he's like, I don't sound like nobody else. And you guys kind of have...
Yeah, I appreciate that. That's a very, very nice compliment. I like to think that, and I'm glad that you recognize that coming from your background and knowing music and playing music, and thank you. I appreciate it.
And I also know, even you don't take no for an answer. That was always I'm gonna knock down doors.
Yeah,
and that's that spirit, and sort of I'm gonna. Not wait on things. I'm not going to wait to be found.
Yeah, you just can't wait.
You can't. You got, but that separates the art. There's been a lot of great artists I know who are way more talented than I ever was, but who just never made it because they didn't have that tenacity. That business hustle.
You really gotta just don't take no for an answer, but no whenever don't. You'll know when no is, but if you don't ask.
What's the worst they can do is say no.
Yeah.
So can you talk about? So we talked about 1100 Springs, which is kind of a famous Dallas kind of country band. So he came on. He produced your last album too, right?
No,
or
no,
just this one.
This one. The last one, me and Austin did a lot of the engineering, all the engineering actually.
Oh, so you engineered it too?
Yeah. Austin.
Yeah, the Sounds of Texas one.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, he works over at what's the studio called?
Zig Productions in Arlington, Texas.
Okay, so you do studio work as well?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I like to do that a lot.
How'd you learn how to do that?
In high school, I had a buddy that gave me like a cracked version of Ableton, and so I've had it since I was like 16. So,
and you were just like recording and
yeah, me and him
producing
got like a little interface, and we just started messing around with it. And then like along the way, I've gotten like my mentor, Billy Herzig. He owns the studio. He really showed me a lot.
Yeah, that guy's amazing.
Like he gave me the opportunity to do it in actual practice. You know.
That's cool. But was it fun? Like, people don't really understand like what a producer is or what they do, but a producer it's kind of like the director of music. They come in and kind of say it should sound this way, or you should play this part, or sometimes they'll tweak a song. That verse is bad, rewrite the verse. But producers also like really can affect how an album sounds. Did he challenge you guys? Like, did it change?
Who Matt?
On the most recent
yeah,
album?
no, that well, you know, in the studio, you know, he would, a lot of the songs that you just get in to record, because there's some songs that we recorded that we just did in the studio. We didn't actually do them yet. So we the way we arranged them and everything, and he's like, hey, yeah, the parts, and then like your vocal, try this, you know. Mm-hmm. So I mean, you know, he showed me the ropes on the vocal stuff and the parts. You know, we kind of all picked the parts, but he definitely helped pick the part that was
the right one.
The right one, the one that's in it to him sounded really good.
Apart, we would, you know, have to go maybe take it through a few paces and finally make an executive decision on it as to what it would be. Yeah,
that's awesome. Was there a gig or a show where you were like, wow, this is working? Like, was there like a memorable night where it's like, man, people.
That one where we at the Granada when we played with 1100 was
that was real nice.
That was pretty monumental.
Was that when you were like, we have something going?
I walked back out and realized it was a full house, and I was like,
yeah. There's been, you know, I'll be honest with you. That's a good question. Like, I feel like there's been a lot of gigs like that. You know, that's a good one right there. Like, whenever we played at Billy Bob's, you know, we had our own show. We headlined our own show and had an album release. That was cool. Ideal. That was
Billy Bob's is a big room. That's a daunting place to play.
Yeah, it was a great feeling. And there's been a lot of shows that we've been blessed to have. You know, like we got a big one coming up. We're playing a Saturday night over at Gruene Hall. We're headlining.
Oh, you are? You're headlining Gruene Hall?
Yeah. January 7th.
Have you all played Gruene Hall before?
Never.
I have not.
I love Gruene Hall. It's just magic. It's like kind of crappy because it's
well, yeah,
right up my alley.
Yeah. But it's just it's literally one of my favorite venues I've ever played. There's just something magic about it. And headlining, that's a big deal.
Yeah. Excited.
I'm excited. I'm grateful.
And you have to eat at the grist mill.
Oh yeah.
Next door.
Is that where
it's at?
We
went with Albert.
Did y'all go there?
Oh yeah, we ate there. It was real nice inside.
It's kind of like the Joe T's of
the Ruffles. Yeah.
Because it's all this outside seating and stuff. But that's literally one of my. That's a cool show.
Yeah, man, I'm looking forward to it.
I'm excited about that one.
We got the State Fair on the main stage coming up too on the 12th of October.
Oh, that's a big deal. And have y'all done much, like, have y'all toured outside of the state? Like, you said this is your first time in Colorado.
Yeah, first time. We played in Nashville last year. We're going again in a couple weeks over to
Americana Fest,
right? Yeah, and then we played over in Las Vegas. Me and Austin did a duo thing not too long ago.
In Vegas?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it was a duo. It was for Cowboy Christmas out there. It was
like a rodeo event, but
Okay.
It was fun. It was fun. Yeah.
That's cool. And you said you have a son.
Yeah.
And is he into it? Like, does he think what you do is cool?
I think he does, but he's at that age where it's like, that's my dad's job kind of thing, you know. And I've
does he come to shows?
He comes sometimes. He's good for about an hour or so. And then like he's looking at his mom like, Mom, I'm just like, I'm ready to go, you know. But sometimes I'll take them and they'll go over the whole gig with me, and he just looks beat down. Recently,
How old is he?
He's 8.
He's 8.
He's about to be 8 actually. His birthday's next Friday.
Are you showing him some accordion yet?
I am. I've showed him some, and I need to get him back into it. Like I've been busy doing a lot of things, but you know, I managed to spend some time. But I think I'm gonna try to put at least once a week or once every other week.
Yeah.
I've been talking to my wife about it. I think we need to implement that at least once. He was doing like Twinkle Twinkle Little Star and like some scales, but I want to try to start showing him like songs. You know?
Yeah, yeah. Well, accordion is so interesting. Like that and harmonica and pedal steel are kind of like lost arts. Like they were huge kind of just staples in American music for forever, and people don't. Like very few people like know how to play the pedal steel these days, and it's still.
I find it equivalent to the accordion as far as difficulty.
It's difficulty,
just,
and it's big, and it's also big and you know.
Yeah, it seems like a long haul.
But it's almost like there's like you got to preserve this legacy because not a lot of people play like.
That, yeah,
it could just go away if no
That's
one.
What, that was something that, you know. It's funny, I was telling my son that I was like, son, you need to learn how to play the accordion because it's a dying art. You know, you got to learn it. You got to keep it going. And after I said that, he's thinking about it. He's like, yeah, well, yeah, that makes sense. It clicked.
Yeah, that's like with my girls. I'm like, I don't know if they have like every once in a while my wife will like put on Gruene Hall or something. They're like, no, put on Elsa, put on put on something else. They're not too into it yet. But I bought them a guitar and they still haven't shown them a little bit, but not an immediate interest.
At least they're there, and
Yeah,
if
have
they
it there,
feel
make
like
it available.
Yeah, exactly. So what's on the horizon for you guys? Like more? You said you're going to Americana Fest. Anything you're excited about? Like new songs, new.
Well, the album we just put an album out in May, and we just
in May. So you're working and promoting that.
Yeah. So we just dropped the very first Squeezebox Bandits music video.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So it's a song with Matt. It's a
Yeah.
song with Matt Healer. The one he wrote the song, and it's like a duet. He's singing, I'm singing. It's a buddy song. It's a drinking song. It's a pretty cool. Yeah. I'd strongly suggest y'all checking that out on the website. But it's easy to find. Just Google Squeezebox Bandits and just on YouTube. It'll find it real easy.
we're playing at the state fair soon. Also,
Oh yeah, you're saying
that's
that
coming up.
That'll be a big one.
Oh, you know what? We do got a really cool one I'm thinking about. November the 5th, we'll be at the World Barbecue Fair in Lockhart.
Yeah.
It's going to be a
that's gonna be fun.
Texas monthly
yeah.
barbecue deal that they're having.
Cool.
Yeah.
They
Will
wrote
you
us
get
up.
to like try a bunch of barbecue and everything?
Oh, I would assume, yeah.
Yeah, because they did a write-up on us in July, and that I guess sparked them to invite us to play at their event. So that was kind of cool. That's going to be fun.
Yeah, that's super exciting. I was I read I was doing some Google stalking and searching last night, and there was an interview with you, and they were talking about how you don't like saying no to gigs.
Yeah.
They were like, I don't know, is that true?
Yeah,
Like,
I don't like saying no, but
so if someone asked you to play a show, you're like, your default is like, we're gonna make it happen.
yeah,
Pretty automatic.
Yeah,
for the most part.
I mean, now it's like we got a momentum going to a direction we're trying to go.
Are
to
you
another-
getting more selective these
Yeah,
days?
I'll get a little more selective.
Yeah.
Because you were
Well,
playing.
we got to a point where it was like
Three
three
days
shows
a day, maybe?
3 shows a day,
Three
We've done
in a
that.
day?
Friday and
Yeah.
Saturday or
Oh, yeah.
Saturday
How
Sunday.
are you doing that?
Well,
A lot of middle
like
light.
do like a noon one. We do like something that started around noon.
So was
and
he wearing you guys out? Was there like an intervention?
There's been
Yeah,
some.
it's like-
There's been a few times like I'm like but like my justifying that has been like, well, the first one's only an hour, the second
Right.
one's an hour, and then the night one's 3 hours.
Right,
But
that'd be-
we get to eat
yeah.
and we get to make some more money, you know.
Yeah.
And does your
And-
voice not
Well,
toast at the end?
sometimes.
Yeah, there's a couple.
You got pretty good endurance at this point.
Yeah,
You
where
do.
it's
He's
like,
built up the.
Yeah.
He's built up the.
Yeah, and I don't, I can go to that high register, but I just stay where I'm comfortable, and then when I gotta go high, I'll go high. You know, I'll do it on my time. You know, I ain't trying to be.
Third show of the day.
Yeah.
So a little more selective these days.
Yeah.
But I was reading that. I was like, that cracks me up. But that's going back to like the businessman in you. You're like, I'm not going to say no to an
Yeah.
opportunity. I'm going to.
If it's like a little backyard party or something, like here it's $100 or something, I'm not gonna do
yeah.
that. But if it's making sense and it's putting a little stack in everybody's pocket, or small stack,
Okay, so in doing that, saying yes to a lot of shows, were there any that were just terrible? Where you guys were like, why did he say yes to this? This is awkward.
I can
weird,
think of one right now. If y'all have
If it's
one.
the same one, just there was like, I don't remember what bar it was, but you could smoke cigarettes inside still. So that was pretty rough.
Oh, in Glen.
People were still smoking in it.
That was out.
That's out in the
Glenrose,
sticks.
I think it was.
So that one was rough, I think.
Yeah, because we were next to.
You could see the haze. You could.
They had those little gambling
And it was
machines
the game
in there.
machines
Yeah,
just going off the whole time.
Yeah,
as
so
well.
there's sitting
They
like
had
4
gambling
people.
like
machines going?
casino-ish.
Yeah, they had like 3 that sitting there. There's smoking. Like, dang.
Any others? That's pretty.
Well,
funny.
there's one that we did. It was like one of the first gigs we did, and we played like it was a Mexican bar, like hardcore Mexican bar. Like it was over in South Fort Worth, and I think they were just open for not very long, but we played to the bartender. I had fun playing. We got to kind of go out of our comfort zone and play some more Tex Mex and stuff. But I don't know, and they're just weird. Do you remember that Cowboys? I forget the name of it. I don't want to say the name. It might still be open. But anyways, that's one I could think of.
Yeah.
But then again, like,
Were we on the trailer bed?
no, that's like
That was a different gig.
Yeah. But I mean, me not saying no, I was looking back at our gigs. We've done about 1,000 since we've been going since
1,000
since 2017.
in 5 years. That's a lot of shows.
Yeah, there were some small, some big.
Yeah, you easily play 200 gigs a year.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think. Yeah.
Not all of them are full band,
yeah,
but some
right.
are. It'll be me and Austin and Jeff, or me and Austin, me and Jeff.
Different.
That's incredible.
arrangements of
That's
the
like
band, yeah.
that's grinding it, and like you can't help but be good if you do. Did y'all watch the Beatles documentary that came out?
I still
recently?
haven't. I've been meaning to.
What's it on?
It's on Disney.
Oh,
but
okay.
It's
Yeah,
making the album
yeah.
Let It Be. But they played hundreds and hundreds of shows. They played every night. But you can just see when a band plays that much,
Right.
and they just become locked in. Anyways, y'all, I can't believe I haven't watched that documentary.
Man,
I've
I'm
been
about to watch it.
I listened to the Ticket a bunch, so I heard them talking
Yeah.
about it a lot. And I
It
kind
was-
of got the gist of it. I've been really
one of
meaning to do
It was
it.
very cool. Is there a song that's like a song that you're like particularly proud of, or like this is one of the favorite songs y'all either play or you've written that you're?
There's quite a few that I really like a whole bunch. I think the proudest that I am of anything that I've ever put together was an instrumental that's called Latin Smoke. I think
Okay.
that's a great recording, and Austin was on that recording, and we had a Vincent
Just
and
the
T.Y.
melody.
Just everything about it. I think it if we were to record it now, it'd be a little bit different. It'd probably be better, but that song there, I always like to play it live. It's the song we normally end shows with. It's just that you give them a little extra at the end, and they like it a whole bunch. But there's others that I've written, like Clear as Day is another one that I wrote. And
Why is that one important? to
well,
you?
it's a song that I wrote. It's a honky tonk song. It's just kind of a feel for someone that it's a good old drinking country song, like you lost your girl, this and that, breakup song, So
all the elements of a great honky tonk song.
yeah.
What about you guys? Do y'all have a favorite that you like playing?
Go ahead.
Well, for me, I joined the band. Like, we pretty much recorded the first album. So I really enjoy that whole first album. It's like
That
a big
first one.
variety of songs, and
Yeah.
so I think it's pretty cool.
I like playing Clear as Day a lot too. It's got some cool changes, And it moves around pretty cool. I get to do some jazz chords here and there on it, so it's kind of fun.
Yeah. So we'll play that one today.
And what can if someone's never been to a Squeezebox show, what can they expect, or what do you hope people feel or walk away?
Well, I think when they walk away, I want them to be like you said, when you see us, entertained. I want them to tell a friend, because if you're not talking about it, then it wasn't that good,
That's a good point.
But
Definitely. Hopefully, just had fun, and then also
Yeah.
maybe felt the musicianship.
Yeah.
Obviously, the accordion's amazing.
Yeah, I think we all do a really good job. I think all of us, we really put our work in, and we do a hell of a job what we do. But I mean, I want them to see that, grasp that dang, it's not just some 3 dudes they just put together to do this gig. It's like they really got something going.
This is a band.
Yeah, this is a band.
And a band is kind of a lost thing. Like the idea of a band is like, there's a lot of like, well, there's a lot of like songwriters and but like the idea of
But
this.
they tend to shuffle the cast pretty on the reg, yeah. So.
Yeah, that's what I guess that's what I'm most appreciative of. That, like you said, it's like you don't see it a lot, and it's kind of
And you become brothers, like you
start
hang out a lot,
and you start getting pissed
in
off
the van a lot.
You're like,
yeah, you know each other's quirks and
no, that's like me and I think me and Austin we've been playing together the longest and doing the most gigs together, and there's some times like, we like brothers, we'll fight, we'll say something smart to each other, and then we'll be like, hey man, we're good,
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, guys, I'm excited for tonight. I mean, this is your second night to play. You opened for Leon Bridges last night, and tonight Chris Stapleton. You're in Aspen at this giant festival.
Wow, it just hit me what you just said.
Opening
what you just said
for Chris Stapleton. That's pretty freaking cool.
Yeah, I wish I could meet the guy. Hey Chris, if you can hear me.
Yeah. He's in another level.
Yeah,
but that's cool. So I hope y'all enjoy the weekend. I appreciate you taking the time and doing this.
Yeah, absolutely, it's fun.
And so excited to catch the set.
Can't wait to see the interview.
Cool. Well, thanks, guys.
Congratulations, you made it all the way to the end. Thank you so much for listening to this week's episode of Stories with Soul. If you enjoyed the interview and like what you heard, please help us out and share, subscribe, and like anywhere you listen to podcasts. When you share and subscribe, it is insanely helpful and allows us to keep producing new episodes. You can always join us directly in the studio by watching the video version on our website, 6thAveStorytelling.com. Stories with Soul is brought to you by 6th Ave Storytelling, an organic marketing company building standout brands on the foundation of story. You're obsessed with your business, and we want to make the world obsessed with it too. Thanks for listening.